Story 1. I've been driving for a rideshare company for about 2 years now. It started as a side job to help pay off my student loans after I graduated with my engineering degree. But the job market was tough, and this paid the bills while I searched for something in my field. I'd given probably 1,000 rides by the time this happened, and I thought I'd seen everything. Wrong. Most passengers are fine. They get in, say hello, maybe chat a bit, and I drop them off where they need to go. Simple. My rating was solid, 4.9 stars, and I never had any major problems. I followed the GPS, drove safely, kept my car clean. That's all it takes usually. Last Thursday evening, I got a pickup request from a shopping center across town. The destination was about 15 minutes away according to my app. Straight shot down the highway, then a few turns through a residential area. Easy ride. I pulled up to the pickup spot, and this woman came rushing out of a coffee shop, juggling shopping bags and her phone. She yanked open the back door and threw herself inside. "Karen, finally, do you know how long I've been waiting?" I checked my app. I'd arrived exactly 2 minutes after accepting the ride. "Me, sorry about that. Traffic was a bit heavy. Ready to head out?" "Karen, yes, obviously. Let's go." I pulled out of the parking lot and merged onto the main road. My GPS cheerfully announced the route, telling me to continue straight for 3 miles, then take the highway entrance. That's when it started. "Karen, wait, why are you going this way?" "Me, just following the GPS to your destination." "Karen, no. This is completely wrong. You need to turn left at the next light." "Me, the GPS says to stay straight and take the highway." "Karen, I don't care what your GPS says. I know a better route. Turn left." Now, here's the thing. Passengers sometimes know shortcuts, especially if they're locals. I'm usually happy to follow their directions if they prefer a different route. But something about her tone made me hesitate. "Me, are you sure? The highway is usually fastest this time of day." "Karen, I have an IC of 143. I think I know better than some computer program. Turn left. Now." Against my better judgment, I turned left. The GPS immediately started recalculating. "GPS, make a U-turn when possible." "Karen, turn that off. I'll tell you where to go." "Me, I need to keep it on for navigation." "Karen, I said turn it off. I'm giving you directions." I muted the voice, but kept the screen visible. I needed it to at least know where we were. "Karen, okay, now go straight for 2 blocks, then turn right." I followed her instructions. We ended up in a residential neighborhood with narrow streets and confusing turns. "Karen, now left here." "No, wait, right. Actually, maybe it was the next street." "Me, do you want me to turn on the GPS audio?" "Karen, absolutely not. I know where we're going. Just go straight for now." 5 minutes later, we were completely lost. I had no idea where we were, and clearly, neither did she. "Me, maybe we should follow the GPS now." "Karen, your GPS is wrong. This is definitely the right area. I remember coming through here once." "Me, when was that?" "Karen, I don't know, maybe 5 years ago. But I remember it." I glanced at my phone. The GPS was showing we were now 25 minutes from her destination, even though we'd already been driving for 15 minutes. "Me, look, I really think we should just get back to the highway and follow the original route." "Karen, no, keep going straight. I know this is right. I can feel it." "Me, feel it?" "Karen, yes, I'm very intuitive. I have a sixth sense about directions." Her sixth sense led us down 3 dead-end streets and through a neighborhood where we had to turn around twice because the roads didn't connect the way she thought they did. After 40 minutes of driving in circles, I'd had enough. "Me, I'm turning on the GPS and following it. We're going in circles." "Karen, how dare you? I told you I know where we're going." "Me, we've been driving for 40 minutes and we're further from your destination than when we started." I unmuted the GPS and started following its directions. It took another 15 minutes to actually reach her house because we were so far off course. What should have been a 15-minute trip had taken nearly an hour. When I pulled up to her house, I could see her getting ready to bolt. "Karen, I'm not paying for this." "Me, excuse me?" "Karen, this ride felt emotionally wrong. Your energy was negative the entire time. I shouldn't have to pay for emotional distress." "Me, you're the one who insisted on giving wrong directions for 40 minutes." "Karen, those weren't wrong directions. They were alternative directions, and you refused to follow them properly." "Me, I followed every single direction you gave me. We got lost because you didn't actually know the way." "Karen, I knew the way. The universe was just blocking me. And now I'm reporting you for having bad energy and making me feel uncomfortable." She jumped out of the car and slammed the door. I sat there for a moment, completely stunned. Then I immediately contacted support through the app and explained what happened. I also realized I had my dashcam running the entire time, which recorded all the audio. The passenger tried to dispute the charge and leave me a 1-star review, claiming I'd taken a deliberately long route and made her feel unsafe. But I submitted the dashcam footage showing her overriding my navigation and insisting on wrong turns. Support called me the next day. "Support, we've reviewed your footage and the GPS data from your ride. We're so sorry you had to deal with that. We've removed her review, charged her account for the full fare plus the extra time, and she's been banned from the platform." "Me, she's banned?" Support, yes, this wasn't her first incident. She's done this to 3 other drivers. Always the same thing. Insists on giving directions, gets everyone lost, then refuses to pay, claiming some kind of spiritual or emotional excuse. "Me, you're kidding." Support, nope. One driver she told to follow the moon's energy, which led them onto a private farm road. "You're actually the first one who had video evidence though, so thank you for that." They also gave me a payment bonus for my trouble and restored my rating. Apparently, her review got flagged immediately because her account was already under investigation. I still drive for the rideshare company, though I'm pickier about which rides I accept now, and I have a new rule. If someone tells me they're smarter than GPS, I cancel the ride. I don't care how high their IQ supposedly is. The GPS has satellites and algorithms. They have what? Intuition? The moon's energy? No thanks. I'll stick with technology. Story 2. I've been managing this family-owned pizzeria for about 4 years now. It's a small place, nothing fancy, but we make damn good pizza. The kind of pizza that keeps people coming back week after week. We use fresh ingredients, make our dough from scratch every morning, and take pride in what we do. My day usually involves coordinating the kitchen staff, handling customer service, managing deliveries, and dealing with the occasional complaint. Most complaints are reasonable stuff like a late delivery or a wrong topping. Those are easy to fix with an apology and maybe a discount on the next order. The pizzeria has been in the same family for 3 generations. The original owner's grandson now runs the kitchen, and his recipes are basically sacred around here. We've got regulars who've been coming since they were kids, and now they bring their own kids. It's that kind of place. Cozy, neighborhood spot with checkered tablecloths and framed photos of Italy on the walls. Nothing pretentious, just good food and good service. Last Tuesday afternoon was slow. We just finished the lunch rush and were prepping for dinner service when the phone rang. I picked it up, expecting a normal order. "Me, thank you for calling. How can I help you?" "Karen, I need to speak to the manager immediately. I have a very serious complaint." Her tone was already aggressive, which put me on alert. "Me, I'm the manager. What seems to be the problem?" "Karen, I ordered a large pizza from you yesterday, and I'm calling to demand a full refund." "Me, I'm sorry to hear you weren't satisfied. What was wrong with the pizza? Was it cold? Wrong toppings?" "Karen, the pizza itself was fine. The problem is how you cut it." I paused, trying to figure out where this was going. "Me, how we cut it?" "Karen, yes, I ordered a large pizza, which is circular. You cut it into 8 slices. Do you understand why that's a problem? Me, I'm not sure I follow. 8 slices is our standard cut for a large pizza. Karen, that's impossible. Geometrically impossible. You can't cut a circle into 8 triangular slices. The math doesn't work. This is fraud. I stood there holding the phone, genuinely wondering if this was a prank call. Me, I can assure you that we cut your pizza into 8 slices. We do it dozens of times every day. Karen, no, you're not understanding me. A circle has 360 degrees. If you cut it into 8 equal triangular pieces, each piece would need to be 45 degrees. But triangles don't work that way. The angles don't add up correctly. What you're claiming is mathematically fraudulent. I pulled the phone away from my ear and stared at it for a second, then put it back. Me, I'm sorry, but I'm not following your logic. We absolutely can and did cut your circular pizza into 8 triangular slices. Karen, I have a degree in business administration. I took mathematics courses. I know what I'm talking about. You cannot divide a circle into 8 true triangles. The geometry doesn't support it. Either you didn't give me 8 slices, or they weren't actually triangular. Either way, I was deceived. Me, every slice has a point in the center and a curved edge on the outside. They're triangular in shape. This is how pizza has been cut for decades. Karen, the curved edge is exactly the problem. If the edge is curved, then they're not real triangles. Real triangles have 3 straight sides. You advertised 8 slices, which implies 8 triangular pieces, but what I received were 8 curved pseudo-triangles. That's false advertising. I genuinely didn't know how to respond to this. One of my kitchen staff walked by, and I must have looked completely baffled because he stopped and mouthed asking if I was okay. I waved him off. Me, the slices are triangular from the center point outward. The outer edge follows the curve of the pizza because the pizza is round. This is standard for literally every pizza place in existence. Karen, just because everyone does it doesn't make it right. I studied geometry. I know the properties of triangles. What you're describing violates basic mathematical principles. I want a full refund for being misled. Me, you're upset because the pizza is round? Karen, I'm upset because you claim to give me 8 slices, implying 8 proper geometric shapes, but delivered something that defies mathematical classification. Me, did you eat the pizza? Karen, that's irrelevant. I ate it before I realized the geometric impossibility of what you were claiming. Me, so you ate the entire pizza, enjoyed it enough to finish it, and now a day later you want a refund because you've decided that circles can't be cut into 8 pieces. Karen, I didn't decide anything. Mathematics decided it. This is about principle. You're committing geometry fraud. I took a deep breath, trying to remain professional. Me, I need to explain something to you. When we cut a pizza into 8 slices, we make 4 straight cuts through the center point. Each cut goes all the way across the diameter of the circle. This creates 8 pieces. Each piece is wider at the outer edge and comes to a point at the center. We call them triangular slices, even though technically they're sectors of a circle. This is how every pizzeria in the world cuts pizza. Karen, sectors, you just admitted it. They're not triangles, they're sectors. You've been advertising them as slices, which implies triangular portions, but you just confessed they're actually sectors. This is textbook deceptive business practices. Me, they're pizza slices. Everyone calls them slices. If you go to any pizza place anywhere and order a pizza cut into 8 slices, this is what you get. Karen, I don't care what other businesses do. I care that your business engaged in geometric misrepresentation. I paid for 8 slices. I received 8 sectors. Those are not the same thing mathematically. Me, you received exactly what anyone would expect when ordering a pizza. 8 pieces of pizza. Karen, false. I expected geometric accuracy. I'm reporting this to the Consumer Protection Bureau. They need to know that you're misleading customers with fraudulent mathematics. Me, you're going to report us for cutting pizza the normal way. Karen, I'm reporting you for false advertising and geometry fraud. Unless you refund my money right now, I'm also leaving reviews on every platform warning people about your mathematical deception. I'd reached my limit. Let me get this straight. You want me to refund you for a pizza that you already ate and enjoyed, because you've retroactively decided that our cutting method violates geometric principles that you've misunderstood? Karen, I haven't misunderstood anything. I have a degree. Having a degree doesn't mean you understand pizza geometry. We're not refunding your order. You ate the food. It was prepared correctly. The fact that you don't understand how circles work is not our problem. Karen, how dare you? I understand circles perfectly. You're the one claiming you can cut them into triangles. We cut them into slices. Pizza slices. Like every other pizza place on planet Earth. Karen, then every pizza place on Earth is committing fraud. Someone needs to take a stand. That someone isn't going to be me, and that stand isn't going to involve refunding your pizza. Is there anything else I can help you with today? Karen, this is outrageous. I'm never ordering from you again. Given that you think our cutting method violates the laws of mathematics, that's probably for the best. She hung up on me. I stood there for a minute, trying to process what had just happened. My kitchen staff asked what that was about, and when I explained, the entire kitchen stopped working. Everyone just stared at me in disbelief, then burst out laughing. She did leave a 1-star review online. It was a 3-paragraph essay about how we were committing geometry fraud, and that consumers should be aware of our mathematically impossible cutting techniques. The review got reported and removed within a day because it was clearly absurd, but not before several people commented on it making fun of her. We printed out the review before it got deleted and hung it in the back of the kitchen. It's still there. Whenever someone's having a bad day, we read it out loud. Never fails to get a laugh. Story 3. I've been a tow truck driver for 8 years now. My dad ran a towing company before me, and I grew up around trucks and cars. After he retired, I took over the business. It's honest work, even if people usually aren't happy to see me. I get it. Nobody likes getting towed. But rules are rules, and when you park illegally, especially in front of fire hydrants, you're getting hooked up. The job has its challenges. I've had people yell at me, cry, offer bribes, threaten lawsuits. I've seen it all. Or at least I thought I had until last Tuesday afternoon when I got a call about a car blocking a fire hydrant on Main Street, right outside the Daily Grind Cafe. Dispatch: got a silver sedan parked in front of the hydrant at Main and 5th. Business owner called it in. Says it's been there over an hour. On my way. I pulled up about 10 minutes later. Sure enough, there was a silver sedan parked directly in front of the fire hydrant. Not even close to legal, just blatantly blocking it. The cafe owner was standing outside, looking frustrated. Owner, thank God you're here. I asked her to move it twice. She told me the parking spot called to her spiritually, and she couldn't ignore the universe's message. She's still inside. Owner, yeah, sitting by the window. Been watching her car like a hawk. I started setting up my truck, getting ready to hook up the sedan. Standard procedure. I'd done this thousands of times. That's when she came flying out of the cafe. Karen, stop. What are you doing? Ma'am, your vehicle is illegally parked in front of a fire hydrant. I'm towing it. Karen, you can't tow my car. Actually, I can. It's blocking emergency access. Karen, this isn't just a car. This is an extension of me. We're connected. I kept working, securing the chains. I've learned not to engage too much with upset owners. Just do the job, stay professional. Karen, did you hear me? This car is part of my soul. You can't just take it. Ma'am, you'll need to contact the impound lot to retrieve your vehicle. The address is on this form. I held out the paperwork. She slapped it out of my hand. Karen, I'm not letting you take her. Ma'am, please step back. This is happening whether you cooperate or not. That's when things got really weird. She literally threw herself across the hood of her car, spreading her arms and legs like she was protecting it from a bomb. Karen, you're violating my boundaries, mine and my car's boundaries. A crowd had started gathering. People coming out of the cafe, pedestrians stopping to watch. Someone was definitely filming. Me, ma'am, you need to get off the vehicle. I'm lifting it now whether you're on it or not. Karen, you wouldn't dare. Here's the thing about tow truck drivers. We're not mall cops or security guards. We don't have to negotiate. If a car needs to be towed, it gets towed, and I'd already wasted 15 minutes on this situation. Me, last warning. Get off the car. Karen, never. We're soulmates. You can't separate us. I walked back to my truck and started the lift. The front wheels of her sedan slowly rose off the ground. I expected her to jump off immediately. She didn't. Karen, this is assault. You're assaulting both of us. The car continued rising. She clung to the hood, screaming about spiritual connections and cosmic bonds. The crowd was getting bigger. The cafe owner looked absolutely mortified. Me, ma'am, final chance. Get off before I start driving. Karen, I'm not leaving my soulmate. Fine. I put the truck in gear and started driving. Slowly. Very slowly. She stayed on the hood, gripping the bumper like her life depended on it. Karen, help. Someone call the police. I'm being kidnapped. Me, you're not being kidnapped. You're trespassing on a vehicle that's being legally towed. Get off. Karen, no. I continued driving at about 5 miles per hour. The crowd followed alongside us, everyone filming. It was like some bizarre parade. Her car was up on the lift, and she was sprawled across the hood, screaming about her rights. We made it about 2 blocks before the police showed up. 2 squad cars, lights flashing. I stopped immediately. Officer, what's going on here? Me, I'm towing an illegally parked vehicle. This woman refuses to get off. Officer, ma'am, you need to get down from there right now. Karen, I can't. This car is an extension of my being. We share the same energy field. Officer, ma'am, that's not a legal defense. Get down or you're under arrest. Karen, for what? Officer, interfering with a tow operation, creating a public disturbance, and trespassing. Your choice. She finally climbed down, but not quietly. She stood there crying, reaching toward her car like it was being taken away to prison. Karen, this is unconstitutional. You're separating bonded souls. Officer, your car isn't a person. Ma'am, do you have identification? Karen, I don't need identification. My car knows who I am. That's all that matters. The officer was incredibly patient, but eventually, he had to cuff her when she tried to run after my truck again. Officer, ma'am, you're making this much harder than it needs to be. Karen, you're all monsters, car thieves, spiritual terrorists. They put her in the back of the squad car while I finished securing her vehicle. The cafe owner came over and shook my head. Owner, I am so sorry you had to deal with that. Me? Not your fault. Just another day in towing. Officer, she'll probably try to sue you, you know. Me, let her try. I've got about 50 witnesses and probably 100 videos of her climbing onto a moving tow truck. I drove her car to the impound lot without any further incident. When I got back to the shop, I wrote up the whole report, attached my dashcam footage, and sent it to my insurance company just in case. The next day, I got a call from the police department. The woman had been charged with disorderly conduct and interfering with official duties. She'd spent the night in jail because she refused to give them any information except her car's license plate number, which she claimed was the only identity that mattered. She did eventually pick up her car from the impound lot, but only after paying all the fees and fines. According to the lot attendant, she spent 20 minutes hugging the car and apologizing to it for letting the bad men take it away. I've towed thousands of cars in my career. Expensive cars, junkers, everything in between. But I've never seen someone claim their car was their soulmate. And I've definitely never had someone ride a tow truck for 2 blocks rather than just accept a parking ticket. Some people really need to understand that cars are just cars. Metal, glass, and rubber. Not extensions of your soul, and definitely not worth getting arrested over. Story 4. I've been working as a cashier at this grocery store for about 6 years now. It's not glamorous work, but it pays the bills, and honestly, most days are pretty uneventful. I ring up groceries, make small talk with customers, and go home. The store itself is one of those mid-sized chains, nothing fancy but well-stocked and clean. We serve a pretty diverse neighborhood, and I've gotten to know a lot of the regulars over the years. They're good people, and that makes the job bearable. The management is decent too. They don't expect us to take abuse from customers, which is refreshing. Our store policy is clear. We check identification for anyone purchasing alcohol who appears to be under 40, no exceptions. It's state law, and we can get fined or lose our jobs if we don't comply. Most people understand this and have their identification ready. It's rarely an issue. Last Thursday, the weather forecast had been screaming about an incoming storm all week. Nothing catastrophic, just your typical winter storm that would probably dump a foot of snow and make driving miserable for a few days. But you know how people get when the news mentions storms? Everyone panics and rushes to the store like we're about to enter a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The store was absolutely packed that afternoon, with lines stretching back into the aisles. I was stationed at Register 4, scanning items as fast as I could while trying to keep a smile on my face. The line at my register had maybe 10 people waiting, all of them patient enough given the circumstances. Then I heard the commotion. This woman came barreling through the store with 2 shopping carts, both piled high with stuff. I could see wine bottles sticking out of both carts, at least 24 of them. Candles, fancy scented soaps, more wine, some cheese, crackers, and what looked like an entire bakery section worth of baguettes. She was pushing one cart and pulling the other, nearly taking out a display of cereal as she maneuvered toward the checkout lanes. Then she cut directly to the front of my line, shoving her carts in front of the customer I was currently helping. "Karen, I need to check out right now. This is an emergency." The customer I was helping, an older gentleman buying actual emergency supplies like batteries and canned goods, looked at her in disbelief. "Customer, excuse me, there's a line." "Karen, I don't have time for lines. I'm a priority shopper. I need to get home before the storm hits." "Me, ma'am. Everyone here needs to get home before the storm. You'll have to wait your turn like everyone else." "Karen, do you see how much I'm buying? I'm clearly stocking up for an emergency. That makes me a priority." I glanced at her carts again. Wine, candles, and fancy soap. Real critical supplies there. "Me, we don't have priority shopping for storm preparation. Please go to the back of the line." "Karen, this is discrimination. I'm a valued customer. I spend thousands of dollars here." The gentleman I was helping shook his head and started loading his items back into his cart. "Customer, just help her. I don't want to deal with this." "Me, sir, you don't have to do that." "Customer, it's fine. I'd rather wait than listen to her." He moved to another line, and several other people in my line did the same. I didn't blame them. She had already created such a scene that it was easier to just get her out of the store. I started scanning her items, wine bottle after wine bottle after wine bottle. When I got about halfway through, I realized I needed to ask for identification. "Me, I'm going to need to see your identification for the alcohol purchase." She stopped loading items onto the belt and stared at me. "Karen, what did you just say?" "Me, I need to see your identification. It's store policy for anyone purchasing alcohol." "Karen, are you seriously asking me for identification? Look at me. I'm clearly of age." "Me, it's policy. We ask anyone who appears under 40. "Karen, under 40? Under 40. This is profiling against mature beauty. You're discriminating against me because I take care of myself." "Me, ma'am, it's the law. I have to check identification for alcohol purchases. I need to see a valid form of identification or I can't sell you the wine." "Karen, I am 53 years old. I shouldn't have to prove my age. This is ageism. You're punishing me for looking young. Me, I still need to see identification. Karen, no, I refuse. This is harassment. You're targeting me because you're jealous of how good I look. Other customers in nearby lines were starting to watch. Some were recording on their phones. I could feel my face getting hot with embarrassment, not for myself, but for her. Me, without identification, I cannot complete this sale. Those are the rules. Karen, rules? Rules? I don't care about your rules. I need this wine for the storm. What am I supposed to do? Sit in the dark sober? Me, you could buy everything except the wine. Or you could show me your identification. Karen, I left my identification in my car. Are you expecting me to go all the way back out there in this weather? The storm hadn't even started yet. It was barely sprinkling outside. Me, then yes, you'll need to go get it. Karen, this is absolutely outrageous. She grabbed one of the baguettes from her cart and threw it at me. It sailed over my head and hit the cigarette display behind me. I stood there in shock. Me, did you just throw bread at me? Karen, you're denying me my emergency supplies. This is tyranny. She grabbed another baguette and threw it down the aisle. Then another. She was throwing them like javelins, launching French bread through the air. One hit another customer's cart. People were ducking and moving away from her. Me, I'm calling security. I picked up my register phone, but our security guard was already on his way over. He'd seen the whole thing on the cameras. Security, ma'am, you need to calm down and stop throwing merchandise. Karen, she's refusing to serve me. I'm being discriminated against. Security, she's following the law. You need to provide identification for alcohol purchases. Karen, I don't have it with me. Security, then you can't buy the alcohol, and you definitely can't throw things at employees. You need to leave the store now. Karen, leave? I haven't paid for my emergency supplies. Security, you're not going to. You assaulted an employee. You're banned from this location. Karen, banned? You can't ban me. I'm a priority shopper. Security, there's no such thing as a priority shopper. And yes, I absolutely can ban you. Let's go. He gestured toward the door. She looked around, probably hoping for support, but everyone was either staring at her in disgust or recording the whole thing. Karen, fine. I don't need your overpriced garbage anyway. I'll go somewhere that respects their customers. She abandoned both carts right there and stormed toward the exit, but not before grabbing one more baguette and throwing it toward the entrance. It bounced off the automatic door as it opened. Security, keep walking. He escorted her all the way to the parking lot. Through the windows, I could see her yelling at him the entire way to her car. My manager came over immediately to check if I was okay. I was fine, more bewildered than anything. She apologized profusely, even though none of it was her fault, and told me to take a 15-minute break to decompress. When I came back, the carts were still there. My manager had pulled them aside and was going through the items to restock. Turns out she had tried to buy 42 bottles of wine, 73 candles, and 30-something bars of luxury soap. The baguettes she'd been throwing were the fancy artisan ones that cost like $6 each. The video of her throwing baguettes went viral locally. Someone posted it with the caption, "When Karen's Attack, Bread Edition," and it got thousands of views. The store's corporate office even reached out to make sure I was okay and to confirm that the woman was permanently banned from all locations. She never came back. The baguettes got donated to a food bank since they were still sealed, and I got a gift card from corporate as an apology, which was nice. Now whenever we get a storm warning, my coworkers joke about preparing for the baguette assault. It's become legendary at our store.